And Ryan Condal finally broke his silence on George R. R. Martin's Not a Blog post. He said, and this is very long, I'm sorry, "It was disappointing. I will simply say I've been a fan of A Song of Ice and Fire for almost 25 years now, and working on the show has been truly one of the greatest privileges of not only my career as a writer, but my life as a fan of science fiction and fantasy. George himself is a monument, a literal icon in addition to a personal hero of mine, and was heavily influential on me coming up as a writer. It's this incomplete history, and it requires a lot of joining of the dots and a lot of invention, and as you go along the way, I will simply say I made every effort to include George in the adaptation process. I really did, over years and years, and we really enjoyed a mutual, fruitful, I thought, real strong collaboration for a long time. But at some point, as we got deeper down the road, he just became unwilling to acknowledge the practical issues at hand in a reasonable way. And I think as a showrunner, I have to keep my practical producer hat on and not my creative writer, lover of the material hat on at the same time. At the end of the day, I just have to keep marching not only the writing process forward, but also the practical parts of the process forward for the sake of the crew, the cast, and for HBO, because that's my job. So I can only hope that George and I can rediscover that harmony someday, but that's what I have to say about it. It's so interesting that he claims he kept George up to date on everything when George clearly said Ryan lied to him about certain details, like Maelor, the youngest child of Aegon and Helena, being in the series. It also takes away the narrative that the show is what really happened versus the books written by the Maesters. The Maesters wouldn't have gotten the number of Aegon II's children wrong, nor the giant age between Alicent and Rhaenyra wrong. It's also weird for him to criticize George about production when George has been working on shows and writing scripts long before Ryan ever had a career. So if anyone knows about budgetary things and how to get around that, it's George. So it really seems like he's trying to pass the blame as George just not understanding, and we all know that's just completely not true. George's long career holds evidence against what he's saying.